It's a late October morning and we're headed up the Rio Vallecitos Valley. We're headed up to take a look at a couple of new listings that we'll have some more information on shortly. We have arrived in Ojo Caliente. The colors on the cottonwoods are just stunning today. And this is the home of the famous Ojo Caliente Hot Springs. Several little restaurants here. This is kind of the community center, the church, the post office, so on. And we're going to be going to these properties just to the north of Ojo. Now we're coming up to Ortega Peaks Ranch. We're several miles north of Ojo Caliente, just about 4 miles north of La Madera. You see the road that's been cut in up there. We're going to pull off the highway up here right into the new road and the new gate. So we're coming up this new road through the gate, and this will take us right to the top of the mesa here at Ortega Peaks. Here's where we come up from. There's the river valley down below, and then down to the valley just above La Madera. And Sangre de Cristos. Yeah, now we're on the top of the mesa. This road goes back to the north and about a quarter of the way across the property and back all the way to the south to the end of the mesa. We'll go down there and take a couple of pictures down there. Now we've driven down to the end of the mesa. That's the south end of the mesa. I'm looking back north, and that's the Ortega Peaks range that kind of grace the northern end of this property. That's all National Forest. As we come around, we see plateaus in the distance, similar to where we are, and then there in the distance is the Jemez Mountains, and finally we get around to Cerros Colorado, which is the big mountain right behind Ojo Caliente. And here we are at the southern boundary of the property. The fence line is just 20 yards below me here. This is the end of the plateau. You can see where it drops off here, and then in the distance you can see the valley down at La Madera, and then there's this big valley below. So this gives great protection to this plateau up here. And if you look across to the views to the Jemez Mountains, you can see how the plateaus continue to the south. Now we moved over a little bit to the west, and we're looking down at the fence line. It's probably a little difficult to see here, but if we move on up, you can see the cut going up that hillside on the other side. Goes up to the top of that peak right there, and then cuts back down north, due north through that wooded canyon, back up over the top again, and then it hits a jag. That's a half mile, then it goes a half mile back up that plateau, where we've got an extra quarter section. We've got a full section and a quarter section, total of 806 acres. Now we're driving back from the south end of the mesa, and this road, along with the road we came up on, the gates and complete fencing of this property are all new improvements within the last year to 18 months. And this has just made this property so much more accessible. Allows you to get to all the significant parts and do it easily and have your land protected up here. Now we're at the north end of the mesa, and you can get an idea of how large this is. You've got 1 mile from the north boundary to the south boundary, and this mesa is almost level. It's dropped 70 feet in 1 mile from north to south. Now we're up on the north end of the property. This is a Forest Service road that parallels the bulk of the north property line, and then on the west end actually cuts down through the 1/4 section. And this is obviously a little more rustic road than the main road going in the property. But there are 3 gates up here, so there's access back into the property from up here on top. It gives you another option to get in and out, and then if you wanted to get in and go up onto the Forest Service land, you can go up there. So here we are. We've been traveling back towards the east. We've come up to the gate. This is right up at the top of the hill. We're going to open this up and go back into the north side of the property. Now we're back on another one of the improved trails. This one's, we may have shot a little bit before, but this runs pretty much full length of the property from north to south along the big mesa. And we're headed back towards the Ortegas here now, and there's a big open area off to the left. Can't really see it, maybe we'll catch a look up there. Now we're back out to the main road on the property. We're headed back east again, out towards the main entrance. Right up here is where we came in just a little bit ago, where we opened the gate off of the Forest Service Road, and that comes in right here off this way. Then we come back around, and now we're right at the top of the entry road, looking down here, Vallecitos River below us, back around La Madera. Those peaks in the foreground there are what we call Burro Mountain, the Sangres in the distance, and back around to Cerros, Colorado, and off there in the distance is the Jemez.